Chosen one, you're misreading the silence. It's something different. There comes a moment in every chosen life where it feels like heaven has gone silent. The noise disappears, the signs pause, the dreams sow. The reassurance that once felt like a daily breeze suddenly vanishes. And in its place, stillness. A vast, echoing silence that feels like abandonment. But listen carefully. You're misreading the silence. This isn't punishment. This isn't neglect. It's something different, something deeper, something intentional, something divine. Stay with me until the very end of this message. There is something waiting for you in the final words. There's a vibration of truth that needs time to fully bloom in your spirit. Write your warmest wishes and 99 in the comments. This isn't just a ritual. It's a declaration. Let your wish go into the atmosphere. Let your spirit align with others who believe, and let the universe move on your behalf. We are energizing something powerful together. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. You've been interpreting the silence as if it were rejection. You've been walking around wondering what you did wrong. You've been asking why your prayers seem to fall flat, why your confirmations have grown quiet, why the path that once felt so divinely lit now feels hidden under a fog of uncertainty. But the silence isn't God abandoning you. The silence is God trusting you, trusting that everything already spoken is enough to carry you through this part of the journey. In this sacred stillness, you are being stretched in a way words cannot stretch you. You are being strengthened in silence because true maturity is forged in the unseen. When the noise disappears, your roots must grow deeper. When the affirmations stop, your inner knowing must rise. You are not being ignored. You are being fortified. Sometimes the loudest message is the one not spoken. God often moves in whispers. But when the whispers stop completely, when even the air feels thick with delay, it means you're in a divine classroom without a teacher talking. And you know what that means? It means the test has begun. And no teacher speaks during a test. This is that test, chosen one. You're not meant to feel constant confirmation. You're not meant to live on daily reassurances forever. You are being transitioned from needing signs to becoming the sign, from waiting for guidance to embodying wisdom. The silence is making a leader out of you. The silence is making a warrior out of you. The silence is teaching you how to lead from within, to move from faith rather than feel, to operate from destiny instead of dependency. And I know it's not easy because when you're chosen, you expect divine favor to come with clarity. But in reality, divine favor often comes disguised, in silence, in delay, in hidden movement, in unanswered prayers that were actually protection, in pauses that were actually perfect timing. God isn't ignoring you. He's preparing the atmosphere to favor you in a way that words can't yet explain. Think about it. Do you think the silence means you've done something wrong? Or is it possible that you've done so much, right, the next move requires quiet because of its magnitude? Sometimes God hides what he's building, so no enemy can intercept it. Sometimes the silence is the strategy. You are asking for a sign, but maybe you didn't realize you are the sign. You're being matured into alignment. You're being trained to recognize the divine in darkness. You're being equipped to move forward without applause, without approval, without everyone understanding what you're carrying, and that level of strength that comes from silence. You're not losing your anointing. You're being refined by it. When God is silent, the enemy gets nervous, because a silent God is still a moving God. And a chosen one who walks faithfully without hearing is more dangerous than 10 who move only when told. You are becoming a weapon of unwavering trust. That silence you're hearing, it's not the end. It's the in-between. The interval between planting and bloom, between promise and performance, between prophecy and payoff. But don't confuse delay with denial. Don't mistake divine pause for spiritual abandonment. The won't be a whisper. It'll be a shift. It'll be a crashing wave of confirmation. And you'll know without a shadow of doubt that this silence was sacred. This is your wilderness moment. But remember, wilderness always precedes the promised land. There's no glory without silence. There's no crown without crushing. There's no purpose without process. You haven't lost access. You've been invited deeper. God often hides when he wants to reveal something deeper in you, when he wants your trust to grow legs, when he wants your faith to become fire. You're not in the waiting room because something went wrong. You're in the transformation room because everything is going right. Chosen one, you're not alone in this. You've been asking where the signs are, but the truth is, the sign was in the instruction he already gave you. You're being trusted to move even when it's quiet. You're being upgraded from follower to carrier, from listener to vessel, from asking for light to becoming the light. There's a version of you on the other side of this silence that is stronger, wiser, bolder. This version of you doesn't panic when heaven goes quiet. This version walks by faith and not by sight. This version recognizes that the storm is not a sign of failure, but the environment of promotion. You don't have to feel it to know it's real. You don't have to hear something daily to believe something consistently. Real faith is what you walk in when there's nothing else to lean on but God's last word. And that's where you are now. Walking on memory, walking on faith, walking through divine quietness with royal posture. Do not collapse under this silence. Rise within it. Let this be your transformation chamber. Let this be where your certainty grows. Let this be where your internal compass sharpens. Let this be the place where your echo becomes an anthem. I still believe because God is not done with you. He's just doing it differently. This part of the journey wasn't meant to sound like the others. It's not supposed to feel familiar. It's not supposed to look like your neighbour's path. You're chosen. Your process must be different so your destiny can be distinct. So, what do you do now? You anchor in. You stop begging for noise and start embodying truth. You trust what he already said. You hold to the vision he already gave. You walk with assurance. You keep going even if it's quiet, because silence doesn't mean empty. It means sacred. He's closer than you think. The silence was never distance. It was design. There's something sacred happening in the stillness that you don't yet fully understand. This silence is not the absence of God's voice. It's the presence of his strategy. When God goes quiet, it's never for punishment. It's for positioning your heart, positioning your focus, positioning your response. Because what's coming next in your life are being aligned. Let that sink in. You are being aligned with your true path. The silence is not a void. It's a tuning process. Like a musician tuning their instrument before the most important song is played. You are being tuned. Your thoughts, your focus, your intentions, your character, all of it is being brought into alignment so that when the next sound comes, it will be a symphony of favor, purpose, and divine orchestration. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. You're not overlooked. You're being refined. You're not stagnant. You're being stabilized. Sometimes chosen one. The silence is God's way of protecting your next. If he gave you every detail now, your enemies would hear it too. If he made it obvious, the wrong people would cling to your elevation like parasites. but the silence shields you. It conceals you until the right moment. The moment where what's revealed can no longer be stopped. You're in hiding, but not in a way that limits you, in a way that secures you. You're in a divine cocoon. And yes, it feels tight. Yes, it feels dark. Yes, it feels uncertain. But this is where the butterfly grows wings. This is where the caterpillar dissolves every old form. It doesn't just grow wings, it becomes something entirely new. And that is what's happening to you. You are being transformed. You are being evolved. You are being elevated from the inside out. And it's happening quietly because it must be rooted deeply. Let the silence teach you. Let it mentor you. Let it show you how to move without being moved by emotions. Let it train you to act without applause. Let it develop in you the kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need public confirmation to know you're walking in divine timing. Chosen one, you are walking through a spiritual tunnel. You've left one realm, but you haven't fully stepped into the next. That middle space, that's where you are. It's not punishment. It's the passageway of the promise. And in that tunnel, everything sounds muffled. Everything feels slow. There's no visibility, no signal, just movement in faith. But hear me. If you're in the tunnel, you're still in motion. You haven't stopped. You haven't failed. You haven't missed it. You're just in the passage between revelation and realization. And it's supposed to feel unclear because clarity isn't the test right now. Obedience is, can you keep walking even when it's silent? Can you keep believing even when nothing confirms it? Can you keep trusting even when it looks like nothing is happening? That's where you graduate to the next dimension, not through miracles but through maturity and the silence. That's your exam room. If you've been crying for clarity, but only hearing stillness, know this. Clarity is coming. But right now, God is giving you something more powerful than answers. He's giving you endurance. He's giving you backbone. He's giving you wisdom that won't break when the crowd leaves. He's forming in you a spiritual GPS that doesn't need constant rerouting. This is the development of your spiritual muscle. It's the chapter where nothing on the outside is changing, but everything on the inside is transforming. Your outlook, your posture, your frequency, your identity. The silence is recalibrating your entire being. You've grown too powerful to need noise. You've matured past the need for constant reassurance. You've stepped into the season where you no longer ask, "Where is God?" Because your entire being knows He's right here, moving silently, powerfully, and perfectly behind the scenes. Chosen one, if you only knew how close your shift is. If you only knew what this silence is preparing. If you only knew how much heaven is building behind that silence, you'd stop fearing it and start honoring it. You'd stop filling the void with worry and start worshipping through it. Because this silence isn't punishment, it's prelude. It's the sacred hush before the divine announcement. It's the pause before the curtain rises. It's the stillness before the miracle explodes. And when it does, it will be undeniable. The doors that open won't just be cracks, they'll be gates. The favour that floods won't just trickle, it'll overflow. The answers that arrive won't just clarify, they'll transform your entire life. But first, this holy quiet. So instead of fearing it, embrace it. Instead of resisting it, learn from it. Instead of questioning it, trust it. Because the silence isn't the end of the story. It's the most intentional, powerful chapter yet. You are still chosen. You are still covered. You are still destined for greatness. Nothing has changed about your calling. Only your environment is quieter. And maybe that's exactly what you needed in order to finally hear what's always been inside of you. Stay grounded, stay tuned in, stay faithful, because the silence is about to break. And when it does, nothing will ever be the same again. You're not just walking through silence, chosen one. You are becoming silence's master. You are being trained in the language of stillness. You are being taught how to discern movement without noise, answers without explanation, and confirmation without external validation. And that's the level only a few ever reach. This is rare air. This is high altitude elevation, where oxygen is thinner, but vision is sharper, where distractions can't follow, where only the chosen rise. You see, most people misunderstand silence. They run from it, panic in it, doubt themselves because of it. But not you, not anymore. Because now you understand silence is a strategy. It's an invitation into the deeper mysteries of divine timing. God doesn't speak the same way in every season. And if you try to hear him in this season the way you did in your last, you will misinterpret his absence when in reality, he is communicating through new methods, through impressions, through spiritual nudges, through inner alignment, through peace, through tension, through closed doors just as much as open ones. Chosen one, he's teaching you how to feel what can't be spoken. Because the future he's calling you into requires inner radar, not external noise. You are being recalibrated to move not from noise, but from knowing. Deep, unshakable, spirit-born knowing. This is where power is birthed. In the silence, you're not just waiting. You're growing. You're not just passing time. You're being transformed. You're not just in a holding pattern. You are being molded for release. Because here's the truth. Silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. Silence means everything is happening, just not where your physical eyes can see it. Heaven is still active. Angels are still assigned. The blueprint is still unfolding, but it's happening underground in the soil of your trust, in the foundation of your faith. And that's why it's quiet, so that the roots grow strong before the fruit appears. If the fruit comes too early, it collapses under the weight of shallow roots. But God loves you too much to let that happen. So he silences the surface until the roots of your spirit are ready. The deeper the roots, the higher the rise. You're not behind. You're not off track. You are exactly where you need to be in divine preparation, in strategic stillness, in the protected womb of silence where the next version of you is being born. Chosen one, take this seriously. This silence is sacred. It is shaping you to carry something heavy without breaking, to walk into places no one in your lineage ever entered, to hold blessings without being crushed by them, to stand in spotlight without losing your soul, to step into abundance without forgetting your foundation. And none of that is possible without mastering silence. The reason your path has felt so narrow, so lonely, so quiet is because you are being developed in rare air, where distractions die, where clarity sharpens, where false identities fall away, where the crowd disappears, and all that remains is the voice inside. And that voice, that still, powerful voice within you, it's about to become your compass. You're going to start hearing your own soul speak truths that shake you. You're going to feel direction come in downloads, not announcements. You'll notice alignment fall into place without explanation. You'll begin to walk into rooms and know this is it. You'll meet people and sense immediately this connection matters. You'll leave places and be sure it's time to move. Not because you heard a voice, but because you became the voice. That's what the silence has been doing, turning you from listener to revealer, from one who waits on messages to one who delivers them. You are being redefined, refined, and reignited. And let's not ignore the other layer. Yes, the silence has been uncomfortable, painful even. There were days it felt like betrayal moments you asked if you were being punished. You tried to worship through it, you prayed, you fasted, you stayed faithful, but the heavens still felt closed. And in your heart, you wondered, have I been forgotten? Let me speak this clearly into your soul. No, you have not been forgotten. You have been reserved for something bigger than your timeline, reserved for a door that needed time to be built, reserved for a realm of influence you aren't even aware of yet. You weren't skipped. You were safeguarded. You weren't overlooked. You were over-prepared. God didn't abandon you in the silence. He anchored you. He hid you in plain sight like a seed, while others were sprouting quickly and fading just as fast. You were being rooted, secured, insulated, hidden beneath the surface of public attention, so that when your breakthrough does come, it doesn't evaporate, it endures. You're not temporary, chosen one, you're timeless. And the silence has been proof of that. The process you're going through is not about punishment, it's about permanence. It's about building something in you that cannot be shaken by circumstances, opinions, or seasons. Something eternal, something powerful, something that will ripple through generations. Yes, silence is frustrating, but it is also fertile. In the silence, your gifts begin to stir. Your discernment gets sharper. Your inner compass aligns. You stop seeking approval from outside sources. You start building legacy. You begin to feel heaven move inside of you like a current. You stop reacting to everything and start becoming the atmosphere itself. This is spiritual leadership. This is divine authority. This is how God turns warriors into generals. You don't need to be the loudest in the room anymore. You are the room. You carry the presence. You carry the wisdom. You carry the weight of what you've survived, the strength of what you've walked through, and the clarity of who you've become because of the silence. That silence was not wasted time. It was the furnace that shaped you. It was the divine press that produced the oil. It was the sacred pause before heaven unveils your name in rooms you've never entered. Chosen one. This silence, it's not your enemy. It's your escort. It's guiding you to a level that noise could never take you. So here's what you do now. Stay anchored in faith. Stay aligned with the last instruction God gave you. Stop needing new information to be consistent. Stop assuming that quiet means decline, and start recognizing that you've been equipped. You already have what you need. The silence is only confirming that you're ready to step without crutches. You are stepping into a realm where obedience isn't dependent on feelings, but rooted in trust. Where confirmation isn't external, but internal. Where direction comes not from flashes of inspiration, but from grounded sacred alignment. This is real spiritual maturity, and you are walking in it right now. You're no longer surviving the silence. You're mastering it. You're harnessing it. You're rising in it because something enormous is coming. And this level of silence could only mean one thing. The next sound will be thunder. And that thunder, it will carry your name in divine favor, divine openings, divine acceleration. This is what the silence has prepared. And when it breaks, so will every limit. You've entered a realm of silence so thick, so stretched out that at times it feels like a vacuum, like everything divine has packed up and moved far away from you. And yet, chosen one, the opposite is happening. The silence has not been created by distance. It has been birthed from proximity. God is not further. He is closer. He's so close, in fact, that his breath is now moving through your decisions instead of his voice interrupting your plans. He's walking with you in such unity that he's letting your footsteps speak for both of you. This is the part where the student becomes the living scroll. The silence is proof that you're no longer waiting to be taught. You are now being trusted to walk out what was already planted in you. That silence you've been wrestling with isn't a barrier. It's a mirror. And in that mirror, God is showing you that you've become the version of yourself you once prayed to become. You must understand this. Silence is not the end of a conversation. It's the beginning of internal activation. And activation doesn't come with claps and confirmations. It comes with responsibility. It comes with invisible weight. It comes with the awareness that God is molding you through pressure and pulling you through purpose. The silence is heavy because it's carrying destiny in its stillness. You've matured to the level where God no longer needs to keep reminding you what's yours. He's now watching to see how you walk when the reminders disappear. And the way you walk in silence says more than what you declare in noise. Can you move with certainty when the wind isn't pushing you? Can you remain aligned when applause vanishes? Can you still say yes, Lord, when the instructions are old, but the fire must remain fresh? This silence is designed to squeeze out everything in you that still doubts, still fears, still wavers. It's a spiritual detox, a stripping down of anything that relied on emotion instead of truth. Anything that leaned on external confirmation instead of spiritual revelation. And that's why it feels like a void. But it's actually sacred surgery. You're being emptied of the need for noise. You're being delivered from the addiction to signs. You're being purified from shallow dependence and being prepared for deep obedience. This is where you graduate not into more visibility, but into more responsibility. Not into louder moments, but into quieter confidence. Understand this deeply. When God trusts you with silence, He is endorsing your spiritual maturity. Silence is not given to the weak. It is given to the warriors. To those who are now ready to lead by stillness, you are now stepping into a frequency where heaven doesn't babysit you. It backs you. Where God doesn't have to interrupt you. He inhabits you. And that kind of intimacy is weighty, but it is divine. You are being reshaped, chosen one, into someone who doesn't crumble when the external world doesn't cheer. Someone who doesn't retreat when the vision looks delayed. Someone who doesn't abandon the dream because the daily breadcrumbs stopped showing up. This level of silence was sent to awaken your internal compass. The God-given GPS that doesn't blink, doesn't panic, and doesn't require 10 signs to take one step. The compass is being activated within you right now. That deep pull, that quiet conviction, that still, small whisper you've started to hear in your sleep, in your spirit, in your moments of pause. It's real, and it's stronger than you think. Don't misread this moment. What you're feeling as abandonment is actually alignment. The people who walked away during this silent season didn't leave you. They left the old version of you that no longer matched the frequency God was elevating you into. The connections that went quiet weren't failing. They were being filtered. The detours weren't delays. They were divine rerouting to preserve the integrity of the mission inside of you. God silenced the crowd so you could hear your calling. God muted the chaos so your purpose could gain volume. God paused the momentum so your maturity could rise to meet the magnitude of what's coming next. This isn't stillness without movement. It's stealth movement. It's God working behind the curtain, constructing the platform, polishing the blessing, timing the unveiling. And if you stay patient just a little longer, if you keep walking through the silence like it's sacred ground, you will arrive at the moment where suddenly, without warning, the silence will break and everything will flood in at once. The divine echo will return. The doors will swing open. The opportunities will appear, and the voice that was still will speak in thunder. But first, he must finish the work he's doing in secret. And that's where you are right now. You're not just enduring silence. You are embodying it. You're not just waiting. You are becoming the kind of vessel that can carry revelation without distortion, power without pride, influence without compromise. You are being made ready. The silence is your evidence, and every quiet day is confirmation that something loud is building in heaven with your name on it, something massive, something generational, something irrevocable. And so now is the time to walk differently. Now is the time to stop asking when and start declaring now. Now is the time to worship even when your heart aches for direction. Now is the time to speak life when your world feels dry. Now is the time to anoint yourself with expectation and remind your own soul. God has not forgotten me. He's forming me. Because when the silence lifts, and it will lift, it won't return in the same way again. You will have graduated from silence to stature, from preparation to performance, from promise to possession. The version of you that survives this silence, that version is unstoppable. And that chosen one is exactly what God has been building all along. There is a mystery unfolding inside of you that the silence was uniquely designed to unlock. While the world teaches noise is proof of progress, heaven teaches that what grows in silence is often what reigns in the future. And that's where you are, on the threshold of reigning. Not because you shouted the loudest, not because you hustled the most, but because you stayed still long enough for God to shape you into someone who could be trusted with more than applause. Someone who could be trusted with influence, with power,